Ready? What a great performance in the second half. I thought for a stretch there, we played the game about as well as it could be played. And at halftime, the number I was concerned about, we only had 5 deflections in the first half. We just weren't active enough. And they made some contested shots, but I just thought we really let them get comfortable, and that was disappointing. And they're a really good team. They're well coached. They're hard to guard. I thought at halftime we came out, we put Neat Clifford on Kelvin. We kind of got up changed our ball screen coverage a little bit and kind of got after these guys. And then if I have my math right, I think in the first 3 to 4 minutes, 4 deflections right away. And so we started knocking the ball loose and getting our hands active, and then defense leads to offense. And then our pace got going, and once we were able to make them miss, we got out in transition, started attacking. Guys were making shots, and man, the ball had a lot of energy tonight. I mean, I don't know that I've seen that before. 37 assists to 8 turnovers is just is a special way to play, and great job by our guys.
Yeah, obviously Zay, but I think counted up. I think it was 10 different guys had assists. Was this one of the better ball movement nights you've had?
Yeah, and it is. I mean, it's as good as I've been around, and we follow our team. That's how we want to play, right? It's just I think that when the ball has energy and guys are sharing it, it's fun, it's contagious, and obviously shots need to go in too. So some shots go in, but thought we were able to get out and transition too. Create some easy looks for us, and I just thought as the game went on, our pace just really kind of got to them. But yeah, Kevin, I mean that's about as well as we've shared it.
What's it like for you when you see early on it was pretty clear it was a Zay night and he was going to control this thing? What's it like watching?
Well, it's like, I hate to say this, but it's you've seen it so many times, and it was like I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking that we couldn't stop him. It's the only thing was going through my mind in the first half was just like I'm watching Kelvin pouring in shots and Holden and these guys, and I'm like, holy moly, And so that was really the only thing I was thinking about. Zay just kind of does what he does, it seems like, and I thought early in the game he kind of kept us, in it by making shots, and but yeah, I'm really proud of our guys. Like you said, at halftime we got after them a little bit. We changed a couple things, and to their credit, they really responded in the second half.
Did you expect for this team, given how many new players you have, to move the ball at this level in game 2, and just how encouraged are you by that going into the rest of the season?
I love it. I think that it's one thing we sell in recruiting, you know what I mean? That this is the way we want to play. This is the way we do play, and we want guys who buy into that. So I think they know that coming in. It obviously helps having a guy, right, like Isaiah Stevens and a guy even like Jalen Lake who's been here that understands that. And, right away when these guys get here together in the summer, it's an emphasis of our program. And so I think that it's gelled well early that way. We got to keep it going though. This is just one night. There's going to be nights where it's more difficult, but there has been buy-in right away that way.
This is the second game that you guys found your footing in the second half. You started off not as strong as you would have liked to. Is that a point of emphasis to start off stronger, or is it more about finishing strong?
Well, I prefer both. We need to start better. I mean, there's no question about that. We got to start better on the defensive end in particular, and slowing down some of these guys. One thing that is interesting, is for these first 2 games that we played, that was Wright State's first game. That was there. Sometimes it can be, a little tricky, but we do need to get better. I know one thing: we need to go out Tuesday in Greeley, and we've got to start better in the first half than we did the first 2 nights, and not rely on, trying to turn it around in the second half. So yes, we do need to get better that way.
Coach, you bring up Jalen Lake and Joe Palmer. Can you just talk about how their presence has an impact on the team chemistry on the court?
Yeah, I mean, if I had it right, I thought game 1 against Louisiana Tech, Jalen Lake was like a plus 14 or whatever. I think he's a plus, 15 tonight, but he just plays the game the right way. I mean, I love the way he plays. He makes good decisions. He's in the right spots defensively. He competes. He cuts. He does all the right things that winners do. And, we asked him to kind of be the 6th man and come off the bench, and I think he handles that role beautifully for us, and because it's a huge role for our team. But we don't bring him off the bench because he's not, in my opinion, one of our best guys. But I just love the way he plays, and he plays winning basketball.
The first half to second half shooting splits from 3-point, 71% for Wright State in the first half, 13% for them in the second half. I know you talked about the defensive adjustments that you guys made. What did you see specifically out of the 3-point?
I mean, I think, one thing you have to keep in mind, sometimes percentages even out a little bit too, right? I mean, regardless of even if you made a defensive adjustment or not, shoot 70% in the second half, the number's probably going to come down in the second half. I did think we got a little bit more aggressive on our ball screen coverage. I thought we closed out a little bit harder than we did before. We, just made a couple adjustments that way. I thought we got after their shooters a little bit more, made them feel, uncomfortable. And, the game's different. You're on a run right now, and all of a sudden you go up 7, you go up 8. Well, those shots have a little bit more pressure on them, right, than if they're in a rhythm. So once we kind of got them out of a rhythm that way, those shots become maybe a little bit harder to make.
You mentioned getting out on transition tonight. You outscored them 28-7 on points off turnovers. Just how important is that, going forward, and how fun is it to coach a team that can do that?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, that's what we like to do. We get out in transition. You can't get out in transition if you can't get stops, and when we do that, I think we can be pretty lethal in transition. We got a lot of guys who can run, a lot of guys who can make decisions, and yeah, when we can get out in the open court like that and play, it's fun. And it's not always like that. I mean, you got to be able to be good in both the half court and transition, but yeah, I mean, I think the fans are seeing it right now, and this team can get out and get out in the lanes and run a little bit. They can put some pressure on people.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Yep.